Hello, everyone. I'm delighted this thing works. Yay! Yay! Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode. And this week, I am doing a much requested video on downsizing. And so I've learned all this information, or I've picked this all information up from my years of real estate as a realtor, 20, many more than 20 years of real estate. So I've seen a lot. And then also on a personal level, because I am downsizing, planning for a complete shift. And so I've just taken notes on what I've done and what I have seen along my journey. And then I'm hoping that it will help you. And it all really ties in with my simple life, because my whole existence is based upon that. Sounds really deep, but that's the truth. So, excuse me for reading, but I have to read. I see downsizing in two parts. And from there, so I see downsizing in two parts. Come on, Carolyn. And the first part is what I have called the robot. It's the following the program, sticking to the program and not altering it. And when you follow a program, like you follow something online, you do this, you do that, do this, it's much easier. So I'm going to talk about that first, because I know what is the difficult part, and we'll talk about that later. But the first thing that I have personally learned, and through clients in real estate, is to start early, because it takes much longer than you actually think. If you imagine all this stuff that you've accumulated for years, decades, it can become, there's a lot of it. And even me, who doesn't have a lot of stuff, who doesn't have a lot of stuff, it's taking much longer. Now, also, one of my sort of delays was the fact that I am setting up, or I have set up, a new business. And so that took a lot of my time and energy. Plug. If you know of anyone who I can help with their tech mess, please let me know in the comment box below. Glad to speak to it, whoever it is. But back to my personal experience, it's taken much longer than I thought, which, okay, things happen when they're supposed to happen. And that's been my mindset. I don't have anything. I have a destination planned, but I don't have, for example, a house bought or a condo bought or even rented. I just have a direction that I'm going to. So it makes the pressures off of me in that respect. The only pressure I have is self-induced, so to speak. So take your time. And then what I have learned is to designate one room where you're going to put all your items that are going with you. This way you can actually live your life without a mess, because if you live a life with a mess, my mindset is that you can't move on because there's all this clutter around you. So designate an area or a room for all the items that you want to take with you. And the next thing on my list is storage containers. Go and get some storage containers. Do not go out and buy crazy amounts of storage containers. See what you've got. And also, ye old cardboard boxes, eco-friendly, are so much better to use. And so gather all of those together and then start filling those items up. And I'll give you my suggestions on how you do that on the second step of the downsizing. So you'll need, obviously, tape, and you'll need markers. And I don't mean to insult you, but you need markers. And what I have done is I've numbered the boxes. And so, and then I've taken a sheet of paper, actually I have a whole book of what is in the numbered boxes. You could put this in a book like I have, or you could actually put it on the old phone. I'm old fashioned. I like paper. And so this way, when it ends up where it's going, you will have this list and you'll know which boxes to open at what time. The next thing, which I found really, really useful, is to buy these, let's see if you can see them, these stickers, right? I bought them at Target. Yeah, I hope you can see them, Target. They're neon dot stickers. And what I have done is gone through all my rooms and I put stickers on them. And the stickers are coded. So all the green, obviously, are going with me. The red is being given away. And the yellow is to donate. Family members, relatives, friends who have expressed an interest in it, in an item. So I would put on a yellow sticker. So this has been very, very invaluable to me, and it's not so conspicuous. Blah. So you can put it wherever you are, and this tells you where the item is going. As you go through this process, there's a couple of things that I would ask of you to ask of yourself. And the first thing is, when was the last time you actually used that item? But discount any holiday item because that's only once a year usually. But how long have you used this item? And for me, if I haven't used an item in 3 months, then that was discarded. Maybe you want to extend it to 6 months or a year, but for me, 3 months, it's out of I'm getting rid of it. And so that makes the whole process, the clearing process, much easier. A big, big question to ask yourself when you're going through your items, do you really even like the item? Because if you like it, well, then you might consider taking it with you or passing it on to a relative. But if you don't, then why in the world would you take it? So many of us get gifts along the way. And some of those gifts we like, some of them we don't like, but we feel that we have to keep them because we don't want to insult the friend and or the relative by getting rid of the item. And so it stays. And it stays in your home and it stays in your world. And maybe it collects dust. So if you have an item that you do not like, get rid of it. And the same process also applies with clothing. If there's something that you haven't worn in a long time, why in the world would you keep it? It maybe doesn't fit well any longer. Maybe the style is outdated. That's one way of showing our age, but that's another story. So if it's a clothing item that you don't like or you don't wear, just pass it on, give it to somebody else and let them make use of it. Or if it's really bad odor, then just get rid of it. Don't even donate it. So that's on the physical side. That's the robot side. This is following the routine. This is what I'm going to do. But that's easier said than done. And I know the biggest problem is the head in your head and dealing with all those head stuff. I'll tell you a bit of a story. I have a friend, and his parents were born they were born into the Depression and lived during World War II in Britain. And for those of you who don't know, but I do know that some of my friends are Brits, they're here. There was rationing until 1954, nearly 10 years after the war. So that mindset is keep what I've got, don't throw it away because you never know when I might need that item. And it's really understandable. I get that. But I've seen firsthand, that just holds you back because you just have things that are 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 years old, just cluttering your space. And in my opinion, I'm not frivolous at all, but in my opinion, that is such a lack attitude that I have to hold on to everything, which leads me to the mindset of there are items that you own that have memories to them, and you don't need to keep them all. You can keep a select few, but the memories are all in here. They're never going away. You will always remember certain items and certain holidays and certain pastimes in your life. So really, there's no need to keep hold of everything. The biggest issue I had was my books, because as you can see, my books are very important to me, and I've really downsized on my books because I've realized with so many of them, I have taken from them what I wanted, what helped me, and now I need to pass them on to somebody else. So the memories, certainly they're there, but when you're downsizing, it's not necessary to keep everything. It just clogs you up. I think, and the also, as in my caregiving role, I'd like to say that I saw the effects of when somebody is here one day and not here another day, but their stuff is still here. And really, that stuff doesn't mean anything. It's the memory of that person when I could see them that's really, really important. And that will never, ever change. And finally, I think oftentimes what gets into our minds, sadly, is that we seem to attach our lives with things. And we tend to think, or maybe some people think, that this is the end of it all, that life doesn't go on without all my stuff and without all my belongings and in this smaller home after you've downsized. But that's not the case. Life does go on. It is not the end of your book, the book that you're writing, the book of your life. This is just a new chapter. And if you address it in that way, then it becomes lighter and it becomes joyful and it's a new adventure, and it becomes so bloody exciting when you think of where you're going to go and what you're going to do and the experiences that you're going to have. So downsizing is two parts. It's the physical stuff, but it also is the head stuff. And you must be aware of both of those areas, but it can be done. It can be done. I am doing it. Stay tuned. I have an idea as to when that's going to happen. I know I started my downsizing last, I think July, thinking I could do it in a month and get everything organized. Well, that was wrong. But I accept that and I move forward. And I wish the same for you. Just take it slowly, methodically, and it can be done. It can be done. Oh, I wish everyone, that's a wrap for this week. Sorry for the wobbly bit. I wish everyone a good week. Happy Thanksgiving to those of us here. And stay well, everyone. Stay safe, and toodles.